Oh, we're at Robbie Maddison's house, watching all the boys just throw down. Got Teahupo over here, throwing a little flavor in the mix. Robbie's gonna do some riding himself. Compound's awesome.
Hey, it's key to every good riding session. Start off with the mind and body and spirit on point. If you win!
Oh yeah! Charles, some are coming from the wireless. Want me to scenery, no part of the machinery. I go on and on, the level below. So now you see me and know you can check it and go. Cause I'm so bored that I can even pretend no more. It's so pathetic that I'm rolling around on the floor laughing at one big gag. And every now and then I pull another rabbit out of the bag of sad diversions. The useless
Matto, buddy, thank you for inviting us over, dude. Stoked to be at your pad.
Thanks for coming, man. I love fast friends.
Yeah.
Going fast is what I do. So when you asked, I was like, yeah, like timing's everything, but timing couldn't have been perfect. So I think I'm in the right headspace. Life's good. So I'm willing to talk.
Yeah, that was sick. You put on a little private demo for us in the backyard there for a little bit. Got to stand, you don't usually get to stand next to the ramp or under it. So it's a pretty cool perspective to get a close-up of what you guys actually do. There's some intensity there, but you guys make it look so easy.
Well, just so we're clear, that wasn't for you guys. That was for me personally. That was for my own mental, psychological thing going on. We got this show coming up in Elsinore, which we can talk about later, but I was itching to get back on the bike, and there's been a few reasons why I haven't been able to, so it was the perfect storm. And then, speaking of storms, we had rain last night. The dirt was better than ever, so that was one of the best sessions that I've had when I'm like fresh off a big break. Mm-hmm. For me to go out and do that indie flip that I did, like I normally take months to warm up to that. So
yeah, you came right out the gate with it. I was not expecting that.
It was like your third or fourth jump.
Yeah,
like I'm like, you just fucking did that.
Yeah,
flip. Yeah.
I was thinking like, can I do a cliffhanger? Can I do this? Can I do that? And a couple of tricks. I know I can do them, but doing a rush it, and I just thought, let's just get this one out of the road, because that just for me is an omen that I'm on the right path, and mental clarity was there. Got it executed well. So it's good. It's good start for the week.
What's kept you off the bike?
Well, a lot of business stuff. I'm trying to do something that I've never done before. A massive challenge for myself personally. And I've been working on it for 10 years. The last 5 years, we've gained significant traction with it. And the last year or so, I've realized that this is going to happen. It's real. So it's an exciting time. Not only that, I had a injury where I bent my finger. I had finger on the clutch like you meant to, and I backsided the airbag, and it bent my finger back to my wrist. So my knuckle blew up, and I have arthritis in this wrist, so I bend the wrist back further than it wants to go to. So my wrist was literally like a baseball bat, hands like a bunch of bananas, and it's not right. Yeah. So. But it's good enough to ride, so we're good.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, you were thrown down. That was really cool. One of the things that blew me away when we got here is like, I've like met your kids like in passing over time, but I've never really like been able to connect with them and have it be just us. And when we showed up, like all three of your boys and the way they introduced themselves, and you weren't even outside yet. You weren't even around here. And so that for them to come out, introduce themselves the way they did, speak the way they did, like you got some really stud kids, man.
Thank you very much. I can't take all the credit, obviously. So my wife is, she's the horsepower that fuels this engine, and she's like, behind every good man's an even better woman. So, we're a team together, but she's an incredible human being, and we're fortunate enough where we homeschool our kids, so they spend all their time with us. So it's a rub off of how we speak to them, how we treat them, and more so like our lifestyle of traveling the world. They see that you got to just do that, and they're great at it. So I'm just proud of my boys so much, because they're not just doing what they have to do. They actually pay attention, they listen, and they expect the best of themselves. And I think that's, to me as a dad, that's the most critical thing or the most important thing to me to pass down to my kids is carry yourself well, speak well, and treat people well, because that creates everything, right?
Yeah, we're like, cool, like Kruz just did a Superman, but whatever, like he's a rad kid. You know what I mean? Like what a cool kid he is like it's that's the important part of it all. And then they act like young professionals, like little freestyle professionals, like it's pretty rad.
Yeah, no, it's there's some great opportunities around us. We have an amazing group of friends and just a good team of people around us at the moment. So with all that, sky's the limit. And Kruz went racing street bikes for a while, and he won a couple of races. And I mean, there was other kids he was in that top group battling for wins. So I think we'll probably revisit that. I just told him, like, I need time to get rid of this project that not get rid of it, but to achieve another goal. And I think a lot of people go, like, why would you want to do something more when you've done all this stuff in the past? And for me personally, it's not about being greedy or expecting anything else. It's always been my plan was to reach this height and to do this specific thing and to create and invent something that can make this happen. So, I mean, I invented the water bike, and that was just a prerequisite to kind of get the work ethic, the mindset, the consistency, and also like overcoming the adversity, and that's really what I try to pass on my boys. I'm like, guys, nothing is easy. Nothing you guys try to, if you want to be good at something, the path is going to be hard.
I feel like in one of the interviews, it was either after the Vegas step up, step down. I think it was that interview. You said you just want to motivate people to get out there and live. Like, no matter what you're doing, like, you're just like, I'm doing things that, a normal person would never think of doing. But maybe that'll motivate someone to be like, damn, if that guy can do that, I should be able to, like, go to the gym twice a week or something. You know what I mean? Like, whatever your battle is or whatever. Like,
small steps. Yeah. I mean, I tell my kids, like, set your intention, set a goal. I think that's something I learned at school was, like, you have to have a goal. And I was, when it came to, like, time to share with the class, like, what your goal was, internally it was, like, to be a world-renowned stunt motorcycle rider. But at the time, I didn't feel comfortable sharing that with the class. So I just said I want to be a fireman.
Oh, really?
Which I think is a cool job too.
Yeah.
And if, in another world, I probably would love to be a firefighter, but deep down, and I just didn't feel like I was worthy of it. I just didn't think it was ever going to happen. The road seemed so far away. I thought that boat, if it ever existed, had already departed, and I just didn't think that I belonged here in this reality that we've created with Amy. But it's just like, and so. Thanks for bringing that up, but I'm always about pass on a message. So, and I just want to pass on a message of the peace and love, and obviously, and just that you're capable of being the best version of yourself. Like, so it takes you have to make the decision first, and then you have to be willing to put in the work, and you have to be consistent. It's many things, but if I can just inspire someone to, like, change one decision and do something a little bit different and better themselves, and goal achieved.
What was really cool is last night, speaking of the whole water bike thing and doing that whole pipe dream deal that you guys did with DC and all that, it's like, I'm sure a lot of people have seen little clips or photos of you doing that, but it was just last night because we were coming to do this today, and me and my son Koa were watching videos over and over of different stuff you've done. So many rad things, right?
Thanks,
from the
man.
DC aircraft thing you did to the street riding in LA with Behrman, and but yeah, the water bike and the whole pipe dream thing in Tahiti, and not just the video, but there's like, I think there's 3 episodes.
3,
there's 3 episodes of
behind the scenes,
the whole making
behind
of
the dream.
that.
Behind the dream.
Yeah, and it shows all the details of, like, creating the bike and all the trials and tribulations that you went through to, like, get to where you were, and then what you went through in that third one too, where you almost died, and like that. It's like, you have that beautiful end piece, right? But like you said, look at all this hard work, all this stuff you had to do to achieve it. It's awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
It gives me chills. It honestly gives me chills, because I feel like it's the path that I chose to take. And, sometimes you get signs of, like, whether it's like deja vu or just someone coming into your life that like kind of opens up a new potential and opportunity for you that's in line with what you want. When these things happen, like, I feel like that's the sign that you're on the right path. And to, like I said before, achieving anything great isn't easy, and nothing. What's the saying? It's like, nothing great is ever easy, and nothing easy is ever great. So I just remind myself of that, and it's like, when we did Pipe Dream, the guy said, Robbie, like, we've got a 5-star film already. You don't have to get this big wave. And I was like,
we're here.
I got to get the big wave. But then as it came, I started getting terrified, and I was like, oh, maybe I don't want this. And I was kind of on the edge. I didn't really, like, my intention, my heart wanted the big wave, but logical thinking was like, maybe it's talking me out of it.
Battling at that exact moment. It was battling each other. Like,
Yeah, but I prepared right. I started doing the Wim Hof breath work, and so I was doing like 4-minute breath holds in retention. So that's like when you do your breath work, then you breathe all the way out and you hold your breath out. And I was doing 4 minutes without any oxygen in my lungs, and so and that's what saved my life. Like
I was gonna say, if you were if you never did that, there's no way.
Yeah,
there's no way.
No, it was like that. It's like when I jumped off the building. I prepared for a year with Ryan Hughes, and I was in the most physical, best shape I could be in. I was training with the top racers at the time, and I was on par with Rhino. Like, how much of a competitor and hard-headed he is.
Yeah. We love Rhino.
Yeah,
man,
shout out
Rhino's like one of my dearest friends. I love the guy, and we just he made me into a badass, and we did something that was incredible. And it was because of the hard work and the discipline that he instilled in me that made me reach a height that I wouldn't have been able to do without his guidance. So.
That's awesome.
We're in touch a lot, and as I build up to this next feat, that we'll be digging the old mill. We'll go out west there and dig him out of his ranch and get him back into society.
Yeah, you're killing it, man. And your place here is awesome too. To change subject, man, it's been awesome hanging out here all day. You guys got the compound ramps and jumps everywhere, and got the pool. I know we're gonna hit the ice bath after this. You're big on the ice bath. Tell us about that. You do that often, yeah? Yeah,
I try to. It's been I try to do it often. And there's only, for me personally, I've been so head in the books kind of thing, like with the business side of things, trying to make something, bringing the right team together that, my gym was upstairs, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I haven't been. Ice bath is back in operation. I've been getting into it the last week or so. But I'm match fit. Like when you first get in that thing, I run it at like 3 degrees Celsius, which is about 34.5 degrees or something. It's super, super cold.
Yeah.
And it's, for me, I enjoy it because if I can overcome that, then I can take on any challenge today. And I think getting up this morning, jumping in that freezing cold water, I worked out first, so I was kind of ready for it. But I was able to go out and ride at a level that normally there would have been so many reasons for me to not push it like that, but the ice bath, the mental side of it, it all goes, everything you can do to push yourself can help you reach a higher level. So yeah, I'm a big fan of them. And I don't really know the science, but I know that it helps like with fat burning, it helps mitochondria, it helps zap the inflammation. And that's what I really like about it. Like I do so many injuries that, like yesterday, I was on my feet all day and my left leg was really swollen because I needed total knee replacement. So whenever I spend too much time on these knees, it just creates a lot of like inflammation. Yeah. And so my leg was like, it was double the size of this leg, and now they're back to normal. So the ice bath is
the left
pretty
knee
magical.
is a full replacement?
I need a full replacement.
Oh, you need it?
Yeah, I had an osteotomy on this leg, so they changed the angle on it to like weight the knee joint differently because I've had no ACL since I was 9 years old. I've had it replaced 3 times, and 3 times I've broken it. So it's not meant to be. But they did an osteotomy, which is like they cut the tibial plateau, move your foot across, plate it, put some goo in there that turns to bone, and it changed the way that my knee is weighted. So I had no meniscus and no cartilage on the internal part of my knee, and now my knee kind of weights on the external part where I do have meniscus and cartilage.
Yeah.
So it was just to avoid, it was just to avoid the pain and arthritis that was kicking in. But the doctor said, just deal with it like this as long as you can, because you want to delay getting a replacement knee as long as you can. But man, I'd love a new knee. I'd like to run again because I can't run. But, Wings for Life, I ran for like all my buddies that have spinal cord injuries, and I pushed this dodgy knee 9 miles.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and then I didn't walk for like a week. But I was like, without emotionally getting into it, like, lost Chris Ackerman, and he was very close to us, and we've lost, just for all the people. There's too many lists to mention, but I just ran for all those guys, and, you just never know when you're going to get hit or something's going to happen, better than anyone,
Yep.
Spinal cord injuries can happen to anyone at any time, so I just felt Wings for Life is something that I truly believe in, and it's so much fun. You run with like groups of people, and everyone around the world's running at the same time. You don't have to run, you can walk it, but I think it's a noble cause, so I love supporting it. And Hannah's kindergartner is he was part of the reason why it's there, and he's a good friend of mine.
Who's that?
Heinz Kindergartner's son.
Oh, okay.
Hannes. So Heinz Kindergartner, ex-world champion, won it on KTM.
Oh, right.
But yeah, Kinney's like part of the KTM brand and was really good friends with Didi Matisic, owner of Red Bull, and so yeah, I just think Wings for Life is a noble cause, and to run out there and run in pain for your friends was like, for me, that was just like something that it wasn't anything that was noticeable to anyone else, but for in here, it was healthy stuff for me.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. You were just showing me a video. Change the subject again, but tell us a little bit about your experience a couple days ago. I know you jumped out of a plane with a wingsuit on, and
hadn't done it for a while.
Yeah, I know you showed me a little clip and stuff. I mean, that was you can send me that clip.
Yeah,
we'll
sure.
throw it on here so you guys can see it. But man, that was cool. Tell us about that. How does that work? What was your experience like?
I think for anyone in the skydive community, that would have a million things to say about how reckless and stupid it was, but you know, the point is, I recovered out of a flat spin. I jumped out in a suit that I wasn't really trained to jump in, but I was, at one point in time, I was ready to transition into that suit, but then over a year and a half went past. It was nearly 2 years had gone by where I hadn't even jumped in a wingsuit. So now I realized probably I should have warmed up to it again, but I just mentally prepared for it, and then when I stepped out of the plane, all that mental preparation went out the window, and I just did the wrong thing. I got in a downward spiral, flat spin, and it's what you don't want to do, and it's what, like, my coach is pretty disappointed in me right now. But for me personally, it is what it is, you know.
You figured it out.
That's why I am who I am,
Yeah.
and I figured it out, and I got control, and then I landed without a scratch, and I think in that moment of like out of control state, the fact that I didn't panic and I stayed cool, I just knew I was losing altitude. I was kind of bummed that I was losing altitude because it was like taken away for how long I could fly.
Yeah.
But once I kind of caught it again, and then I was like kind of adjusting my position, I was like, oh, here we go, like, because it's all about your shape. When you're wingsuiting, you have to be like a bird or like a plane. So if you're not proportionally in the exact same angles on either side, you'll fly weird.
Do you spend a lot of time in the indoor chamber thing, like getting all the, or do you?
I should.
You just chuck yourself out the door of the plane. You're like, we'll figure it out.
Oh, I have been there.
Yeah.
I've been to the indoor place.
I've been there one time.
I've been to the indoor place a couple of times, but yeah, I could probably start my approach to skydiving a little bit different. So, but hey, it's I was excited. I'm glad that I actually waited till I got here, because a couple of days ago I jumped with the whole with the Red Bull, the Flying Bulls in Austria.
Oh, okay.
And they're a bunch of like badass skydivers. We just free jumped, so we were in like just street clothes, and we just did some mad flying right next to each other. Waiting to get that footage back from the editor, but I'm glad I didn't put it on there because I was around mountains and unfamiliar territory.
Oh yeah.
And so the fact that happened at Lake Elsinore, where I was like, there's no mountains I could have hit, you know, because
Yeah.
literally where I was jumping, even at 4,000 feet, we're still below the mountains, you know, like it's so grand and so mind-blowingly beautiful, but somewhere that you wouldn't want to try something new. So I'm glad I waited. Yep, did it in Elsinore. I'll let you guys check out the video, but yeah.
You could have told us you did it on purpose, 'cause we have no idea what it's supposed to look like.
I could have.
I saw your freestyle.
Yeah, just not my style, you know. I'm kind of a transparent type of dude, but
Heard of a 900? Here's a 900,000.
Yeah,
Landed it.
Flat spin.
Flat spin.
It was a
Me
trick.
and Kyle have never jumped out of a plane.
well, we got to change that.
I'm
Yeah,
ready.
we were talking. He was like,
Let's
"Should we?"
do
She's
it.
like, "Should we go jump with Matto for that?" I'm like,
Yo,
"Oh well,
what?
maybe we'll do that here in the future." But this is right now. Let's just go get this done.
Thought
Yeah.
that could be our intro, but
I could speak all day about how great it's been for me as a person, just for my own mental space. You know, it's given me an outlet where I need to be living a clean, healthy lifestyle and just be on point. And so to wake up early in the morning and go out there and get on the first load, you got the best conditions, jumping out of a plane with rad people who are all in the same kind of vibe, frequency. It's something that I love. And a lot of the people there jumping, we all have our own stories. So it's nice to just connect with people who are on point and have other purposes in life. And you know, none of them know I'm a bike rider. I go there unbranded. And,
yeah, that's what I was
you know.
going to say. Who or what got you jumping out of planes?
So I wanted to do it. I'd done 2 tandems when I was like, my sister bought me my first one for my 18th birthday. I did another one out here with Jimmy Fitzpatrick at Paris, and Fitzpatrick and a couple other boys were going to get into do the AFF, and Amy's like, no way, you got like kids, and you're not skydiving. So she put the fear of it in me. So I just started, she kind of like conditioned me that it was something that was gnarly and dangerous and I shouldn't do it. And so that was that. And then Red Bull came to me with a project they were working on that never eventuated, but part of the training was to become a pilot, to skydive, and then to also base jump as part of my training to do what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. And then that never happened, but I got the skill set. And at the time when they brought up that project, I wanted to do something that was similar, in line with all that, with that field, you know, flying and stuff. So I thought, well, this is a perfect opportunity for me to get the skill set that I'm going to need anyway if I'm ever able to achieve this dream. So now's a time where not only riding my bike is important, but jumping out of aircrafts is exactly what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
It's gnarly.
Well, dude, Kruz, we got to get Kruz out here too. I get the names mixed up a little bit, but I'm gonna get
I knew
this
who
down.
you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Kruz is so proud of the kid. He's an old soul, and
Oh, you could tell.
you guys will see it. You know.
So how old is Kruz?
He's 14.
14. That's what
physically.
I thought, yeah. Physically, but mentally, yeah. When I was talking to him, I'm like, damn, this kid is seems like he's 25, like experienced and
Yeah, well,
very.
if he's 25, then I must be 18, because there's times where he's like, Dad, like, turn it down a notch, you know, like, him and I have toured a lot together, and, you know, he's like, I mean, they're all my best friends. My best friends are my family, but
Hell yeah.
he's got some great wisdom about him, and he's also very determined to build it on his own. He doesn't want my help really with anything. So he kind of like, and others, like, he probably won't bring it up, but I said to him, like, he's working, he's like, you know, he's involved in these shows, he's saving all his money, and he's saving it for a new heart. And it broke my heart when he told me that. But he's born with a heart disease, so he has a bicuspid aortic valve, and at some point he needs to have a heart surgery. So he's researching, you know, I can get a pig heart for like 20 grand. I can get a human heart, they're like $1 million. I'm like, dude, I'll sell everything I have to buy you a heart. Like, are you kidding me? Like, don't.
What?
I broke my heart that
Yeah.
at 14 years old he's thinking about saving his money to buy a new heart. I'm like, dude, like.
That's
Anyway,
awesome.
you'll see why that is, why he's the human he is. But yeah, special kid, and honoured that that God would grace me with 3 beautiful kids, healthy kids, amazing wife. I'm very blessed, and I don't take it for granted. So I just try to give back as much as I can and share the love and work my ass off, and just know that, you know, every day is not guaranteed. So make the most of what we got.
Heck yeah, dude.
Absolutely. I know you're probably your kid's hero. It's pretty much, I imagine that's the case. But who was your idol growing up? Who did you look up to?
Ooh. Early on, well, I really looked up to Anthony Gobert. I don't know if you know that guy's name. But
Yeah, I
Street
also
bike
know his
racer.
brother Aaron Gobert.
Aaron Gobert.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
Go Show, I was good friends with Aaron, lived at his house. Aaron was a badass rider. Whole family just super talented. And Anthony was like the guy that I really liked, and also Kim Ashkenazi. So Kim and Anthony would battle, and they were like at our local club, 2 of the best in the country, and they would just battle out all the time. And so I rode for the same Rat Racing, which is like Fox gear in Australia. And the cool part about Rat Racing, you'll notice my gear is Go the Rat.
Yeah, Go the
and
Rat.
that's we're making it under license through Fist Handwear. So I'm a partner in Fist Handwear. And we're now distributed by Parts Unlimited, which we're super stoked about. But
Nice.
but my business partner Sam brought Go the Rat back because iconically it's badass in the history of Australian motocross riding. And so I was Kim's Ashkenazi's teammate. I mean, Anthony Gobert, everyone rode in Go the Rat. It was the coolest brand there was. So those 2 are kind of my initial first heroes. Obviously looked up to my dad a lot, and he just taught me a lot. And just instilled some really good morals into me. And me and my mum showed me how to love really well. And my sister was is still in support, part of my support team. So family's cool, but Rick Johnson. I love Rick Johnson's motivation.
RJ, yeah.
Every time I see Rick Johnson, I'm like, Rick Johnson's my name and Disco's my game. You know?
He did some wild ads back in the day.
I loved
dude.
RJ, Eddie Warren, Fast Eddie Warren. I mean, they're all motorbike guys, but obviously the guy that stands out the most was Evel Knievel and Robbie Knievel, because I wanted to. When I remember seeing Robbie Knievel jump the palace, the fountains at Caesar's Palace. And I was like, wow, like, and I remember I was 8 years old. The hair stood up on my back of my neck, like the whole kind of something told me, like, I guess it was meant to be, but that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to like racing was what I was doing, but I wanted to do a badass jump where the world watched, and I've had 3 1-hour live specials on ESPN already, so I've ticked that box. But more importantly, I want to finish what Evil started, and that's really like what I feel like my calling is on earth. So I'm just doing everything I can to do that, you know.
Yeah. Well, you're doing it, dude. Nice work.
Thank you, man.
I mean, a football field, that's a little longer than the Caesars jump. So
yeah,
that's pretty nice.
Yeah, there's gonna be it's gonna be cool. So I'm just super inspired, and it's nice to be able to work hard and then just see my kids putting in the effort too. And we got this show coming up in Lake Elsinore on the 27th.
Yeah.
Rad. The kid's going to be backflipping, riding down there. Jagger, my 11-year-old, he's going to possibly do his first public backflip.
Oh, nice.
We'll do some training in the foam pit this afternoon. He's ready, but I don't want to push him. I'm like, you got to do it. You have to decide when you're ready mentally, because he does them perfectly into the foam pit. I'm like, just let it all like work out. Like when you feel ready, when you're confident, that's when you do it. Don't, you know.
Did you do a backflip your first time? What technology you guys have? To dirt, wood chips, like what?
Yeah,
right.
I was part of the old school, so I learned the backflip on a BMX bike off a ramp into the water.
Okay.
And then I did. I had a dirt lip out of my buddy's on his property, out of his creek bed, and then up on top of the creek bed we had a dirt hill, and I put hay on there. And so the first time I went upside down on my dirt bike, I was like jumping up probably 8 feet, but I was only falling like 4.
Oh, okay.
So I did that, and then I went to an event at Sydney Wonderland. It was called the King of FMX. Chuck Carruthers was out for America. All Australia's best were there. I'd never flipped a super kicker, and this is why I instill in my kids how important visualization is. But I got there the day before, and I visualized myself hitting that ramp and doing a backflip. And the next day I showed up and did 13 of them straight to the dirt. No foam pit, no nothing, but just mentally wanted it so bad that I overcome all the fear and all the excuses that you could mentally create. I just clear-minded, powered through it. So that's been everything I've done has been a prerequisite to get me to the mental capacity to do the next thing. And you know, the odds seem gnarly, and what I'm working on is like the craziest thing ever. But I think I'm ready to do it, and I'm tuning it, and the ice bath and everything I do is, and that riding today and challenging myself and doing the things I did, it's all part of like the self-reassurance you need that you're at the right time, the right place, you can perform when you're ready.
So your next stunt you're saying is going to be the gnarliest thing you've ever done?
I think it's going to be the gnarliest stunt that anyone's ever done. Yeah.
Yes, dude.
Yes.
I can't wait for that, because all your shit we've ever watched has always been gnarly. I mean, like my 5-year-old kid we were watching you last night. He's like, more videos of him, Dad. Yeah. I'm like, we're going to his house tomorrow, and dude, how psyched has he been since he's been here?
That's
I mean,
great.
you can see like what you do and the shit you do. It's like just lights up energy in people like that.
Yeah.
And so, it's fucking awesome, dude.
No, thank you so
Looking
much. It's
forward
been
to
a blessing to have some more fast friends. Thanks for having me on the podcast. If this resonates with anyone, and this was a goal kick today, so
hell yeah,
you stumped us out.
Yeah, I'm pumped, man. Thanks for coming. And all right, guys, welcome to my trophy room / pool room. This is where all the memories of my career exist, and I think we should start right here, because this is when I came to America. Working with Red Bull, they've truly given me wings. Have some memorabilia here, and a lot of the helmets that mean a lot to me. They all kind of have unique stories and are part of certain things I've done. But right here, I jumped the football field. It was when I first moved to America, set a new world record. We did it in Vegas, had the support of the Knievel family. It was a moment that literally started a path and a journey that it started to feel real, of what I spoke about in the podcast, about this dream of being like what Robbie Knievel and Evel Knievel were. So that was the first step. And then the next year, we come over here. Actually, before the next year, after I had the world record, so then I went down. I did a jump off against Ryan Capes and Seth Enslow. Rest in peace, Ryan Capes. But yeah, we got to compete against each other, and he taught me a lot about distance jumping. He was really great at what he was doing, and unfortunately, he left us far too soon. But this year set was when I broke the world record, 378 feet in no, sorry, it was in Melbourne. Yeah, it was just a moment in time where it went sketchy. A storm came in and I nearly underjumped it. I nearly landed on the deck, and it was actually Ryan's design landing ramp. And at the start of the event, I was talking smack on how like the ramp was the wrong angle and all that, and it was lucky for his design, it saved my life. So it just goes to show about how being humble, and there was many lessons in that. Let's just leave it at that. But then after that, the next year, I was fortunate enough to jump off the Arc de Triomphe in Las Vegas, another Red Bull News No Limits in partnership with the ESPN. Jumped on and off a 10-story building, and this changed the way that I thought about reality and what you're capable of and how your mind controls what you do. And that internal voice, I really had to get control of it, because it was literally the point where it was my prefrontal cortex was just in overload. So I was just like running scenarios and voices and stuff, and it really is the source of a lot of people's issues. So I learned to quieten that voice and actually switch it off, and that was through meditating and working with some great people like Ryan Hughes and Paul Check, who really kind of guided me. Doug as well, shaman guy that I work with. So some deep spiritual learnings there. Here's a picture of me doing Pipe Dream. That was an idea, a vision that it deeply came from my childhood and growing up surfing. And obviously growing up surfing and riding dirt bikes, I always want to ride my dirt bike on the water, and it seems stupid and like just worthless of talking about to some people. But shows you what happens when you stay consistent and you chip away and you believe in a vision that sometimes you have visions that only you can see, and it's up to you to bring them to life. So Jeremy Lusk has a perfect place on my wall, and I nicknamed him Pitbull because him and I battled on and off the course, but he was someone that I really loved and looked up to, and his spirit's still in this room. I can feel him right now. Just another guy that went far too soon, and unfortunately in our sport there's many of them. So tell your friends you love them, share the love with each other, because you don't want to have someone leave and they don't know exactly where they fall in your heart. So after achieving all that stuff, especially in Vegas, jumping on the building, it changed like my fear and how I deal with like my mindset. And further on, through working with Paul Check, he taught me how to guide myself and how to speak to my spirit. And this comes from deep meditation and a path that people may feel wacky, but we're conditioned to like not really access our full potential as human beings. So there's a lot that you can gain by paying attention to some of this stuff that you might think is wacky and stupid. But anyway, I made it. Another one, it's a long story of what I endured on that, but we came out trumps. We pulled it off, supported my wife. We changed the energy. This is actually my greatest photo. If you can get tight on there, I love that. It's just a tight one of me just sending. And that's a bridge that's like farther in the distance. It's taken with a long lens. Obviously, picture here with me and all my homies, my best friends. That's all of us in the one shot. And then Pipe Dream. You saw it. We saved the gear. Stands proudly on my wall. It's been so inspirational on that. This here, I'm going to give full gratitude to Amy. She's like, Red Bull's like, you come with all these ideas. We want to do something, with you in Europe. If you have any ideas. I was really like focusing on freestyle motocross at the time. Was when I was working on the body varial. So my mindset was very focused on my body, my health, and freestyle motocross. And Amy's like, why don't you jump the Tower Bridge? It's something you're already trained for. Like, it's just, and you could backflip it and all that. So props to Amy. She kind of like gave us that original kind of concept and then gave me that. We pitched it to the amazing team at Red Bull. We made it a reality. So Red Bull UK, there was a lot of strategic people there that allowed me to achieve that because nothing great's easy, nothing easy is great. And this one was to get the access to jump over one of the world's most iconic bridges was very tough. So it was an amazing experience too. I got to like ride through London and pop wheelies on my back wheel, obviously, but behind the police escort, and yeah, killer moment in time. These are all like when Red Bull does a new product, they send out like these things to the athletes. So I keep them all, and I mean I have so many from like all over. Like this is like one where you meant to break the ice, but I didn't want to break it, so there's actually a can in there. But I have tons of them. You know, they're kind of littered all through here. There's all these, you know, one-off cans, and then over here. But this is before I had new teeth put in. I used to rock this. I snapped one of them out skateboarding, smashed the other one out, doing a no-handed whip on Krusty Demons tour. Came down, went over the bars, had no t-shirt on. We're riding in Darwin. I ripped all my skin off my face, ripped the skin off my chest. Helmet smashed my face, and the helmet peak went in and it broke all my teeth, and some teeth fell out. And so my wife was very happy when I retired this, but I didn't even know I was there. I actually just saw it. So that's that story. But moving on, aircraft. When I did DC Shuko, you know, DC was like such a pivotal part, and they came into not only freestyle motocross but into motocross. You know, we had a great team like Trey Kennard, the King, Jeremy McGrath. There was Tyler Bierman, Adam Cincerello, Ryder Di Francesco, myself, Travis Pastrana. Pretty solid team. And aircraft was something that we storyboarded it together. It was really a part of not only myself but the team. I mean, I kind of had the original idea, and then those team went and ran with it. They storyboarded it and what they made with the DC aircraft. It truly gives me chills to watch it. I just love it. It's got its own original score as far as the music goes. So when I hear that music, I mean, it'll be weird. I'll be in some like random place, you know, a sports bar on the other side of the world, and I hear the song and I turn around and there's Aircraft on TV. So this one has a special place in my heart. And I must mention my teammate Tyler Bierman came out with me, and he was my stunt rider. So like a lot of the pickup shots, because my workload was pretty intense, and I dislocated my shoulder the day before, and it was like probably the 20th time I dislocated, so my shoulder was just barely hanging on with the thread. So Tyler pre-jumps from the jumps for me, towed me into a couple of them, got a lot of the other shots like changing gears and stuff like that. So it was cool to work with someone who's super hungry and eager, and now my teammate at Red Bull, as we've been teammates and working together for a long time. So shout out to TB. This gear here is when I jumped San Diego Bay. Alpine Stars made me this badass leather suit, and I wanted to go that because I was chasing 400 feet, and I knew if I crashed at that speed, like irregular dirt bike gear is just not going to do much when you're landing on carpet and stuff like that. So we went with the leather suit, and I never got the 400, but in practice I went 394 feet. So we got close, but on the night conditions were pretty dismal, and I had 2 ruptured discs in my back, so I was full of cortisone. I wasn't mentally in the right place because I was carrying a big injury, but I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I try to do it, and I give everything in my power to do it. And that was one of those nights where I probably shouldn't have been doing what I was doing, but I persevered and we made it happen. This piece, from when I jumped down the ski jump, Park City, Utah, incredible project we did with Skull Candy. DC was obviously supporting. Alpine Star made me this badass kit, and that was part of the inventory that we had that was released with DC, and I had signature gear and all that kind of stuff. So that was a cool one. There's so many pieces to that content piece that really struck a note with me. And you know, I've been working with my manager Tom Zanowski now for 20 years on and off, but we're back together, and it's just good to work with good people and the right team. You can achieve this. You can't do this stuff on your own. So shout out to everyone I've ever worked with that have helped all these dreams happen. Like just mentioning all these things, there's literally thousands of people involved in all of these things. So I'm just the guy that gets to do the stunt. But this one was something special to me. I broke my wrist the day before. I broke the capitate bone in my hand. crashed on the body varial. And I showed up the next day, again, cortisone in the wrist, did the body varial with a broken hand and landed side saddle. I'd never done a body varial and landed side saddle, but I knew I needed to do a new trick to try and hopefully win. And it wasn't, the judges didn't go that way, but I was proud with the silver medal. My buddy Cam Sinclair won the gold that time, and he overcome an injury that nearly took his life. So these are the memories here, and there's probably another one. There's definitely another one I'm going to add to this, but yeah, this is my little Hall of Fame. I hope you enjoyed it.